I need you guys to understand that this is the jankiest setup I think I've ever done in my entire life. I've got these binder clips that are just holding this green screen up, just barely. If I move it at all, this thing's just gonna snap and fall apart. And then over here, I wish you could see it. I've got like a binder clip holding a light to a light pole. I really hope this works. Hey guys! Today, we're talking about one of the greatest RPGs of all time. That's right. We're talking about Paper Mario. Specifically, we're talking about the best and the worst in the Paper Mario series. The best being the Thousand Year Door, and the worst being Sticker Star. Let's get started. Alright, so a little background on the series. The series started with a game called Paper Mario on the N64 back in 2001. It was an RPG, but it had this paper aesthetic to everything. The houses, the people, even the ground itself was made out of, or looked to be made out of, paper or cardboard or some combination of the two. It also had these unique RPG elements and partners that you could have throughout the game. Now, technically, these ideas weren't unique to Paper Mario. The ideas had originally been seen in a game called Super Mario RPG that was on the NES. But that game didn't have the paper aesthetic. It was more of a top-down 3D aesthetic. And it also, while it had partners, it didn't use them in the same way that Paper Mario would. So while those mechanics were in that game, they weren't used in the same way used in Paper Mario when that came out. Now, while this game was really good, I wouldn't say that it's the best in the series, as that title would fall to its sequel, The Thousand Year Door. Okay, so Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door came out in 2004 for the Nintendo GameCube. While it was marketed as a sequel, it's technically not necessary to play the first Paper Mario game because most of the characters that appeared in the first game don't actually appear in the second game, and they really don't talk about what happened in the first game at all, so it's kind of its own independent thing. The game currently has a 9.1 user score on Metacritic, so it is widely regarded as the best in the series, for a number of reasons. It has great battle mechanics. You know, you've got your typical RPG stats, health, flower points, which is kind of like your magic points if you played any other kind of RPG, and then badge points. Every time you level up, you get a choice between which one of these you want to upgrade. Now, badge points were unique in that they're used for equipping, you guessed it, badges. So what do badges do? Well, every time you equip a badge, you get some sort of ability or extra stat boost or what have you, either with, you know, your basic attacks, your defense, maybe your partners get a little boost. This was Nintendo's unique way of adding new powers to Mario without making him seem like some sort of superhuman who just gains powers at random. In my opinion, though, the best battle mechanics were the action commands. Now, action commands were this mechanic that they added into the games to give the battles more action. Wow, Taylor, great job. You really thought of that one. Oh, how long did it take you to think of that? Now, the way the action commands work was that you would put in some sort of button command on the controller as you attack, and it would increase your attack power or make you attack again or something like that. Usually this would be in a button press at the right time, or a series of button presses before you attack, or tilting the stick in some way. Regardless, all of these action commands would enhance the battle by making you actually have to do something. In most RPGs up until now, any time that you would attack, you would basically just select the attack that you wanted and then watch the animation play out. But now with Paper Mario, you actually had to do some work if you wanted to hurt the enemy. And it really helped keep you on your toes on the battle because you were always having to do something. You never really got a chance to just sit back and watch stuff happen. Now this wasn't the only good thing about this game. You had this unique new world with these all new characters that you had never seen before in a Mario game. Like you've got these Punies, which are these tiny little plant bug creatures, not really sure what they are. You've also got these weird Koopa things, which I have no idea. These guys look like they're possessed by some monster or something. And you've got these depressed stuffed doll people, which kind of dark for a Mario game, but they put it in there and it's pretty good. You also had all new bad guys. They were called the X-Nauts, which I hope that's how you pronounce it. There's no voice acting in the game, so I'm not really sure. But I'm going to go with X-Nauts. Anyway, you had these guys instead of just Bowser and his minions. Now, yes, they also kidnap Princess Peach. But they're different, you know, it's not just Bowser. It's not the same old, same old. Now you've got these guys. The whole story is that they trick Princess Peach and they capture her. The whole reason being that they want to collect all these crystal star thingies. Yes, I know, more stars. And they want to revive this great evil spirit and use it to possess Princess Peach and cause havoc and stuff, blah, 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 blah. You get it. Another really good part of this game were the partners. Now, the way that partners work in this game is you get like 10 or 12 of them throughout the game, but you can only ever have one with you at any time, including in battle. You can switch them out, of course, but only one will be there at any certain point. And each partner is unique in their own way. They have their own personalities. They have their own abilities, both in battle and out of battle. They have their own unique designs. I mean, some of these partners were new species that you had never seen before in any Mario game. On top of that, your partners do most of the talking. I don't know if you've noticed, but Mario is kind of a quote-unquote silent protagonist. He doesn't really talk much unless you count Yahoo! All that stuff. But he doesn't talk at all in these Paper Mario games. But somebody's got to. Somebody has to move the conversations along. That's where your partners come in. They're the ones who are going to react to anything that happens in the game, as well as talking to NPCs for you. They're basically the ones who move the dialogue along and keep the game flowing. Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door is not a perfect game. The side quests are pretty boring. They don't usually give you anything that important, except for one, which gives you a partner, but you don't actually know that until you complete it. Really weird choice there, Nintendo. On top of that, you're going to do lots of backtracking in certain areas, especially in this area. You're going to see a lot of this forest. A lot of it. And it's all the same. I don't want to look at this forest anymore. But this game was far better than any other game in the Paper Mario series, especially the next one that we're going to talk about, Sticker Star. Paper Mario Sticker Star came out 8 years later, in 2012, on the Nintendo 3DS. This was the first time that the series wasn't on a home console, which may have had a part to play in why this game was received so poorly by the fans. The game currently has a 5.5 user score on Metacritic, which is really bad for a Nintendo game when you think about it. And there's a lot of reasons why it was received so poorly by the fans. For one, most of the RPG aspects that we had gotten used to were stripped away, or overly simplified. Battles are still turn-based, but the action commands themselves were really simplified. Maybe it's just one button press, and that's it. On top of that, all battle commands are now designated to stickers, which are items that you find in the world. Think about that. If you now just want to attack an enemy, you have to find a sticker that lets you do that. Now, granted, there are a bunch of stickers in this game and a bunch of variations on jumping or hitting with your hammer or using an item or whatnot, but you still had to have the right sticker. And these stickers are one-time use only. So once you use a sticker, you now have to go find a replacement for it. This kind of encouraged this hoarding of stickers. You felt like you had to have a bunch of stickers at any time just in case you get into a really difficult battle or stuff isn't working. The worst part about this was, while yes, this is an RPG and you have turn-based battles, you no longer get experience for fighting. So there's no more leveling up. In fact, the only stat that you have is your health. And the only way that you increase that is by finding these special heart containers in the world that increase your health by a certain amount. So if you're not earning experience by fighting, then what are you earning? Not much. The only thing that you get through fighting is coins and maybe a sticker or two. And that's it. This really discouraged battling for anyone who played the game. Sure, you'll start off by fighting just about everything that you see to get a bunch of coins, but then you realize that, well, I'm not leveling up, so there's really no point to doing this, and then you end up just running around enemies, avoiding any unnecessary battles. Now, you may be thinking, wow, that's really, really bad. I don't know why Nintendo would choose to do that. Well, it probably can't get any worse than that, right? Wrong. It gets worse. It gets way worse. Mario is the only one fighting in these battles. You don't have any allies to help you out at any point in the game. It's just you and the stickers you collect. Now, you do have someone who talks to you and gives you hints about stuff called Kirsty, but she doesn't actually do anything in battle, and her personality is really, really grating. So she sucks. Now, I've said a lot of bad stuff about this game, but the game itself isn't actually terrible. It sets out to do what it wants to do. The boss battles are a nice change of pace, and some of them are actually pretty fun. But some of them also require you to have a certain sticker that you use in the battle, and if you don't have that sticker, the boss battle is insanely difficult. The game also has this Super Mario World level structure to it, with some hidden levels as well that are pretty fun to find. But the game wasn't what fans wanted. It was a huge shift from what we had come to expect from the series. And it would signal the beginning of a shift for the future of the series as well. The games that have come out since Sticker Star for the Paper Mario series have all been some variation on this. No real partners, no leveling up, no experience from battle. But it makes the RPG aspects of these games seem kind of pointless. Like, why would you structure the games around these RPG elements if there's no point in engaging with these elements in the game? There's no incentive for doing any of this. You don't really get any rewards for fighting other than coins, but there's plenty of coins in the world. You don't need to fight just to make money. It just takes away from all the good stuff that this series had going for it. So why did all of this happen? Well, in a recent interview with Kensuke Tanabe, who is the producer for the most recent Paper Mario game, the Origami King, he said that ever since Sticker Star, there was a huge restriction put on the world building for Paper Mario games. Essentially, he said that they were no longer allowed to modify existing characters in the Mario universe or create any new characters that would significantly impact this universe, which is huge. I mean, he's basically saying that he was told, hey, remember all that cool story building that you've been doing for this amazing series up until now? Well, now you can't do that anymore. He even mentions that Miyamoto didn't think that a story for Sticker Star was even necessary at the time. Which, think about it. Just trying to imagine playing an RPG without a story. What would be the point? Now, you may be thinking, wow, that's a pretty big creative roadblock that's being forced upon the creators of these games. And you're right. But not only does that impact the story, that also impacts any partners that Mario has. I mean, Tanabe himself even said there's really nothing else that they can use other than toads for allies for Mario. Which is why in all of the recent Paper Mario games, toads are everywhere. They're just all over the place. It's because that's really all that they have to work with. So what does this mean for the future of the Paper Mario series? Well, recently, a few months ago, Paper Mario The Origami King was released on the Nintendo Switch. Now, while this game is better than the most recent Paper Mario games, to me, it still feels like one step forward and two steps back. every time that you want to battle in this game, you have to solve a puzzle first. And there's a lot of battles in this game. On top of that, while they did put in partners, you don't control the partners. They act on their own. And sometimes they don't even do what you want them to do. Now, to be honest, we may never get a return to form for the Paper Mario series. It seems like, based on what Kensuke Tanabe has said, any future Paper Mario games are going to be similar to what we had with Sticker Star or the Origami King, which isn't great. It's not what true fans of the series really want. However, there is some hope. Recently, a game called Bug Fables came out, which is almost exactly what Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door was, but with bugs instead of Mario characters, and a nice, unique, cute little art style. It's out on PC and Switch, so if you're a huge fan of the original Paper Mario games, I highly suggest that you pick this one up and play it. It's really going to give you what you're looking for. But if you get a chance to play Paper Mario or Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door, I highly suggest that you take the time to do so. Yes, they're RPGs, and that might turn you off a bit, but these are really easy RPGs. They're like baby's first RPG. They're not hard at all, but they're still a lot of fun, and they have their own unique charm to them that anyone who likes Mario is going to enjoy. It's just a shame that Nintendo seems like they're never going to go back to the way that they used to be with this series. But at least now we know that there are indie companies who are making games similar to the old Paper Mario games to scratch that itch for us. I'm still going to hold out hope that one day Nintendo will make a Paper Mario game just like the way they used to. Hey, so I just wanted to say thanks for watching this video. I worked a really long time on it. It is my first in hopefully what will be a lot more of videos like this. I do have more videos in the works, more on the way, both videos that are comparative, like this one, comparing the best and the worst of a series, and some that are just one-offs of games that I played that I really want to talk about. So yeah, like and subscribe to this video, leave a comment down below about what you think I should do next. I really appreciate it, and thanks for your time.